Preventing pain, fear, and suffering of animals through nationwide education and awareness from all across the globe, this is Animal Radio.
And welcome to a brand new year.
Happy New Year.
All kinds of animal lovers, more and more this year. This is going to be the year for the animal, I have a feeling. It just seems like there's more listeners to Animal Radio, which tells me there's more animal lovers. The pets are coming from the backyard into the house and probably in bed and sleeping with you during the winter in these cold months. I know they are at my house. Are they doing that over there?
Oh, they always have.
Today on Animal Radio, comedian, author Molly Katz. She has 101 reasons why cats are better than men.
Only 101?
We'll let her tell all. Also, we do this every year. Merritt Clifton. He is, of course, the editor of Animal People magazine, and he puts out his yearly Watchdog report. He tells us what different organizations are making, what kind of donation base they have, what they're getting. When you send $10, they add it all up, and they're telling us, according to their tax forms, their 990 forms, you'd be surprised.
I'm shocked
At what some of the individual compensations are, upwards of $500,000 to run an animal welfare organization.
Whoa.
More details on the way. We'll let you decide if they're worth it. Also, Webmutster today.
Not Westminster.
No, Webmutster is what it is. It's not for the breeded dogs, but for the dogs, the rescue dogs.
How cute.
We'll tell you all about that. That's your phone calls, too. 1-866-405-8405. We'd really love to hear from you today. Let's go to line one, where I believe Molly is. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Hal.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful. The comedian Molly Katz joining us, also author of this awesome book that it's sitting next to the toilet here in the men's room, I must tell you. It's 101 Reasons to Dump Your Man and Get a Cat. Like I said, it was in the men's room.
Well, play on words.
Yes.
Not to be scatological or anything.
Well, now the book must be doing very good, even though it's a real grasp of the obvious to me.
A real grasp of the obvious.
Yeah?
And that's why it's in the men's room and you're calling it awesome.
Well, no, some of the things but here's what I have bone of contention with. Some of the things, I'm like looking at page...
There you go with that dirty talk again.
Yeah, it's...
Typical male.
I forget
there's 102 reasons to dump your man.
One of the reasons to get a cat, of course, is because a cat will play with a rubber band much longer than a guy will. Is that what it says? I don't know where it went. I lost the bookmark here.
It says something like, if I remember, and I'm not sure I remember any better than you do, it says something like, no man can entertain himself all morning with a single rubber band.
Well, you see, that's where I have a problem, is because I can do that.
Yeah, you don't know how.
When do I get to watch?
Well, so tell us, what was the inspiration for the book, and give the listeners an idea of what's in the book.
Sure. This actually the inspiration came from a book called He's Just Not That Into You. I don't know if you know about this book.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where that guy's getting he's like on Oprah and everything.
Yeah.
He's a comedian, isn't he?
He's actually a comedy writer for Sex and the City.
Okay.
And he wrote this book that's been a huge, monumental success and has spawned all kinds of offspring. Mm-hmm. And it's all about how to interpret what guys say, what they'll do to you, what you should do to them, what to do in case of this, how to read that. And all I could think of when I read this was, that's a lot of trouble. And my cat doesn't give me that kind of trouble. I mean, after 2 husbands and more boyfriends than I'm willing to admit to you or even to myself, the cat is really the best. I mean, you can avoid all that nonsense if you have a wonderful, loving cat who isn't going to flirt with other cats on the computer.
Well, now, Judy uses the cat to actually pick the dates that she goes out on, the guys that she goes out with.
How do you do that?
Well, if my cat doesn't like them, then they don't get a second date. I bring all my boyfriends home to meet my cat.
Aha!
And if he warms up to them, then I give him a second chance. But if he hisses and arches his back and stays out of the room, then I know something's wrong with the guy.
Does he always turn out to be right?
Yeah, pretty good. He's got a pretty good track record. Yes, I have to admit.
Wonderful.
Yes, he does.
That's wonderful. Good for you.
It must have been hard to only come up with 101. There must have been a bunch of reasons you had to
Probably had to edit it down, yes.
Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, I started out with 404. And my editor and I went kind of head-to-head or whisker-to-whisker, because she's a cat lover, too. Well, can it be 303? Can it be 202? No. Has to be 101.
There's something about that number, huh?
Pardon me?
There's something about that number, huh?
There's something about that number the publishers really like, and I guess she felt that less is more, and I kind of agreed with her. And anyway, this case, I have a lot of stuff for a sequel or more.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
You do 2 or 3. One of the ones that I like in here, you never have to remind your cat to use deodorant there.
Yeah, most cats I've ever met, you don't have to.
No, most, no.
And there was another one in there that was my favorite. Your cat really can hang from a chandelier.
Yes.
You like that?
Yes, I like that one. Men have tried, but your cat can succeed.
Your cat can succeed, yes.
Well, this is all fun stuff, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. We're actually going to give away 10 copies right now, 1-866-405-8405. Like I said, guys, you like this, too. It's sitting in the men's room here at Animal Radio. We're getting it's fun stuff there. Molly Katz is the comedian, author of it. Looking for you anywhere else?
Anywhere else in terms of...
I don't know, stand-up comedy?
No.
On the corner,
I
that's
don't
over.
do that anymore.
You're done with that.
I perform at my word processor. It doesn't require as much jewelry.
Really? Very good. Molly, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. Merritt Clifton with his Watchdog Report on the way. Also, we want to talk to you, 1-866-405-8405. I see all the phones ringing, and I want to clear the lines. It's like the first time we had a chance since we got back for the new year. Animal Radio is brought to you by PetStyle. PetStyle.com is America's first lifestyle broadband network dedicated to dog and cat lovers nationwide. From premium video content to fun videos you can post, PetStyle. It's designed with your lifestyle in mind. Log on and tune in today.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more about today's guest at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
1-866-405-8405. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Ben.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Where are you calling from?
Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota. That's one of those
Lucky
places
you.
that I would love to live. I bet you it's a beautiful sunny day there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what can we do for you today, Ben?
I was calling in to maybe talk about some of my animals that I have.
Oh, cool. What kind of animals do you have?
I have currently 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a bearded dragon.
Ooh.
Wow, you're loaded down with all kinds of animals. So 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a bearded dragon. I take it that's a reptile, right?
Yeah, he's a type of lizard. It can get to be about 2 feet tall, or 2 feet long, not tall. They require fresh crickets and salad every morning. So.
Oh, really? So you have to go get live crickets from the pet store, huh?
Yeah.
How big is your bearded dragon?
Right now he's only about 1.5 feet. He's still a baby. They can live up to be about 20 years.
Uh-huh.
He's only about 2.
Wow.
2 years old. Now, does he get along with the cats and the dogs?
Yeah, actually fairly well, although he is in a cage. The cats would probably like to get their hands on him for a little snack, though.
Now, what kind of cats do you have?
I have 2 Maine Coons.
Oh, those are big cats, aren't they?
Yeah, I've actually gone through several animals. I've only had 2 cats, but I've gone through a total of 18 animals in my life.
And how old are you?
Animals? Yeah, wow. Now, either you love animals or you just have really bad luck. Which is it?
I love animals, and I have bad luck with fish.
Bad luck. You know what?
Yeah.
I have bad luck with fish here too. It's amazing. We actually got a fish tank here at the studios, and I put a few fish in it. What I thought were hardy fish, but I pretty much managed to kill them within a week.
I think a week, yeah.
And now you're starting something brand new. You got Judy. You got a toilet that actually is a fish tank, and you've installed it in the ladies' room. And I guess you're going to put fish.
I'm
in
going to
it?
put fish. It's a fish and flush toilet, and I'm going to put it. It's in the ladies' room. It's already installed. All I have to do now is add the fish.
Okay.
You'll find it on our website.
Yeah, there's going to be video up there on the website. But I could totally understand the fish thing. I really totally can understand that.
So
I don't know whether that's more funny or scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any funny stories about any of your animals?
I had a hamster named Sunny because we used to come into the pet store and feed her sunflowers behind the scenes. Anyway, she had a million lives. She's got stuck in engines, all sorts of things. But one day I was playing with her and she slips down and went inside the molding right after we had had it painted.
Oh no, the molding of the house right after you had it painted, right? Okay.
Yeah, and so we had to scrape off the orange peel and cut large holes in the walls to try to get her. And then we realized it was the wrong side of the wall.
So you have all these holes in your house?
Yeah. So what we did is we just kept calling her, and overnight we left her cage back right outside the hole she had snuck into the wall by.
Uh-huh.
And in the morning, sure enough, she was in her cage sleeping.
God, you got lucky.
You really did get lucky.
You'd have to demolish your house.
Yeah,
I don't think your parents would have liked that.
No, they probably wouldn't have liked that. Well, that's a good story. You know what? Can I send you an Animal Radio T-shirt?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, and I'm going to also send your couple of cats and your couple of dogs. I don't know if we have anything for the reptile, but I'm going to send...
No, I'll look and see.
We'll look for reptile stuff, and we'll dig through the prize closet and send you some stuff, Ben, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thanks for calling Animal Radio. Hold on 1 second there. 1-866-405-8405.
How cute was that?
Kids and animals, I tell you.
Start them young.
Oh, looks like you caught me peeking in your bathroom closet. Hi, I'm Be Humane, star of Be Humane Goes Shopping. Perhaps you've heard of me. You've got a lot of stuff that was tested on animals. Shampoo, cleaner, mascara. Did you know that some of these companies still test their products on animals? Throw this stuff out. You see, you have a choice when buying your household and cosmetic products. You can make a difference for animals by only buying cruelty-free products. What? How do you know these products are cruelty-free? Request a free compassionate shopping guide from AAVS. To know which companies are cruelty-free, just call 1-800-SAY-AAVS or visit www.aavs.org and look for my movie, Be Humane Goes Shopping. Don't forget, 1-800-SAY-AAVS or visit www.aavs.org.
Well, you've heard us talking about Get Serious, the pet stain, odor, and pheromone extractor for several months now, and how easily it removes carpet stains left from cat vomit. Now I want to talk to you about a problem dog owners face. It's called remarking. If your dog remarks, you might have thought about banishing him from the house, or worse, taking him to the shelter. You use other cleaners, but your dog keeps going back to the same spot. Don't blame your pet because you used a product that didn't get the job done. End the problem with Get Serious. Pheromones, they're something you can't smell. They draw them back to the same spot. Get Serious is the only product that totally extracts the pheromone so your pets won't be attracted back to remark. Get Serious is recommended by rescue groups and veterinarians, and Get Serious keeps pets in homes and out of shelters. You can find Get Serious at PetSmart and in fine pet stores all over. Visit their website at GetSeriousProducts.com. Again, that's GetSeriousProducts.com.
Preventing pain, fear, and suffering of animals through nationwide education and awareness from all across the globe. This is Animal Radio.
Well, hello, Merritt.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm trying to keep up with things.
Back at work, first day of the new year for us, and in my hand, the Animal People magazine, of course. This is news for people who care about animals. My favorite because it's not driven by anybody but this guy, Merritt Clifton, and with the help of Kim, of course, and a few other people who really want to report the news as it is, not as it is commercially, the way that a pharmaceutical might see the news or the way that someone else might see the news. You put together every year, at the end of the year, a special section. It's compensation for the staff members of many animal welfare organizations, as well as the Watchdog Report, which tells how much nonprofit organizations your favorite animal welfare organizations make. Now, when I give to one of these organizations, I'm giving $10 or $20, and that's hard-earned money for me. I'm sorry, I don't make a lot of money doing what I'm doing.
$10 or $20 you give is, if you give it to one of the national organizations that is high-volume mailing, they're just going to turn around and spend that on raising more money from you or attempting to. Currently, for an organization that does 8 mailings a year, which is most of the major national groups that send out slick brochures, they are averaging between $10 and $20 per donor on fundraising, trying to get you into one of their higher donor categories, the $100 and up.
Okay, so you're saying when I send my $10 or $20 to, well, let's say the National Audubon Society, for instance, that really doesn't go to where I think it's going. It's actually going to upgrade me?
Right. That's just basically priming the pump. What we very strongly recommend is that donors should pick a few organizations they know very well and make larger donations. Usually those will be smaller organizations or local organizations with which they have some involvement. Because with the national organizations, unless they're in a position to be a four-figure donor and up, they are probably just going to be pump priming.
Okay, so if I want to help, it's best to help within my community, an organization. You're saying that perhaps the $10 or $20 really will go to the helping of the animals, maybe my local shelter?
Correct. A local shelter is by far your best investment as far as being able to see where the money goes, have an influence on how it's used, and make an impact in your community. Because another thing a lot of people don't really realize is that although outfits like the Humane Society of the U.S. and American SPCA have become much better about making grants to local organizations, 10 years ago they didn't do any to speak of. Now they give away every year a couple $1 million to local shelters. They are still a very minor revenue stream to the local communities, and in many cases, most local shelters aren't getting anything from them. These are not national umbrellas for local organizations. These are national advocacy organizations with their own mission, their own purpose, and, of course, their own use for most of the proceeds. And although both of them do some very good work, they're going to be getting their money. They're going to be getting their share of the pie, whether you donate your $10 or $20 or not. So $10 or $20 is all you have to give. If you're like a $1,000 donor and up, my advice might be a little different depending on your interest. It might be to donate to one of the big national groups because you're in a position to influence things at the national level. But if you're a $10 and $20 level donor,
which is most of us,
right, you're far better off donating to your local organization. It's not going to hurt the big guys, and it's going to definitely help the little ones because that's their lifeblood.
Okay, let's name names. And all these organizations, or at least most of them, are probably doing very, very good work despite what they might be making or not making. The Watchdog, which is in Animal People, the December issue, it's always in the December issue, is listed alphabetically. So maybe you could tell me who made the most, Merritt?
Well, in the animal protection field, by far the biggest organization in terms of revenue, reserves, payroll, all of that stuff is the Humane Society of the United States, especially since it absorbed the Fund for Animals 2 years ago, which was taking on the organization, which at that point I believe was the fourth largest. After that, you go a long way down. You're looking at the Massachusetts SPCA and the American SPCA, which are approximately half the size of the Humane Society of the U.S., and then you go to the next tier, and there's really only two organizations in the next tier. That would be PETA and Best Friends. Those are the next two largest, and that rounds out the top five. And everyone else is a long way below there, Friends of Animals, In Defense of Animals, etc. And this is a major change from when I first started tracking this information. 15 years ago, when we started these annual financial reports, there were 10 organizations that were fairly closely clustered together in more or less the same economic bracket, and the field has really stratified since then.
What are the changes that you've seen?
Well, the biggest change is the growth of the Humane Society of the United States. 15 years ago, it was also the biggest, richest, but it was just barely ahead of the MSPCA and the American SPCA, and they, in turn, if you separate out the shelter operations and advocacy operations and government contracts, all those things, if you sort out what they're actually raising from the public, they were not that far ahead of the Fund for Animals, which was more or less neck and neck with Friends of Animals, PETA. Best Friends wasn't even on the scene at that point. There were a couple of other organizations that have since been merged into others or just plain gone backwards since then that were on the edge of the top 10, and they're gone.
Sure, and I imagine that Katrina had some effect on this, too.
Well, Katrina didn't have as big an effect as people think it did. What Katrina did is it meant that people who were going to be making big donations at the end of the year, instead of making them at the end of the year, made them a couple months early.
Okay.
And so the net effect of Katrina would be across the animal protection sector some redistribution of how the money came in, but it would be really hard to tease out that there was extra money coming into the cause as a result of Katrina.
Okay. I wanted to actually go to individual compensation now, because while all these organizations are making a great load of money, which is great because it means that we care about our animals and we're able to do that. When I get to the list of individual compensation, boy, I'll tell you, my blood pressure just about goes through the roof, Merritt. I look at who's on the top of the list, and you know what? And I see some really great people that are on the bottom of the list, too. And I'm going to name names if I can. An organization which you said, which is at least top 10 in what they bring in, is PETA, an organization who I've always felt is sometimes over the edge extreme. But the president is taking home
well, there's a lot of games
poverty
played
level.
with that, too. The PETA compensation is misleading because the chief executives do receive housing, they receive a vehicle, they receive quite a few allowances that boosts the value of their salary to probably about twice as high as what's declared to the IRS. They also have another little game that they play. They have an organization called the Foundation to Support Animal Protection, and they run most of their fundraising operations through that. And you have to put that together with PETA to get the true picture of what they're spending. In addition, they have some six-figure salaries, but they pay them through the Foundation to Support Animal Protection.
Okay, so let's head to the top of the list. The top end of the list is Stephen Sanderson, the president of the Wild Conservancy, $750,000.
Wildlife Conservation Society, correct.
Sorry, yes.
And that organization runs the 4 New York zoos, the New York Aquarium, and even if you separated out those, runs one of the largest overseas conservation infrastructures. So it's a very, very large organization. Now, he is compensated an enormous amount, but if you look at it relative to the size of the organization, it's not quite as disproportional as it looks like. Personally, I think the guy could work for half the money, but that's a personal opinion. If you look at it compared to a lot of the others, there's some proportionality. Now, one thing in the humane field that I thought was very interesting this year, Larry Hawk, who was the top paid...
Yeah, I was just going to mention him.
He was the top paid head of the Humane Society, both at the American SPCA, where he was before the MSPCA, and the top paid at the Massachusetts SPCA. Both of these organizations threw $400,000 plus a year to recruit him, and both of them replaced him after just a couple of years. And this time, at the Massachusetts SPCA, he was replaced by Carter Luke, who worked his way up through the ranks over 30-some years. Carter Luke started with the MSPCA as a volunteer back in the 60s, worked there as a kennel boy, got his education, worked his way up, became a vice president about 15 years ago, and now he's worked his way all the way to the top, and he's making about half the money that Larry Hawk was getting, and by all accounts is doing a terrific job. He knows the organization better than anyone else. He's been there longer.
We're going to take a quick break here. We're with Merritt Clifton, Animal People, the Watchdog. It comes out every December. When we come back, I'm going to ask Merritt, who does he think personally is probably taking a little too much money home, and who probably is not taking enough money home? That's right after this, right here on Animal Radio.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more about today's guest at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Hi, Joanne Worley on Animal Radio. Hello! And please spay and neuter your pets. Be a responsible pet owner. As a matter of fact, spay and neuter your friends' pets also.
Preventing pain, fear, and suffering of animals through nationwide education and awareness from all across the globe. This is Animal Radio.
Animal Radio is brought to you by Spay Day USA. Do it for love. Spay or neuter your pet for Spay Day USA on February 27th. It's good for you, your pet, and your community. Visit www.spaydayusa.org to find out more. We're with Merritt Clifton. He is the editor of Animal People magazine, the newspaper that, boy, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it is something you can get a free sample to it, and we'll tell you how to do it in just a second. Every year, at the end of the year, December, Merritt puts out the Watchdog Report, which talks about what different animal welfare organizations make and the individual compensation of the management. Okay, who is making too much money? Merritt?
Well, to pass a value judgment on a particular salary requires kind of a detailed analysis, but there's two organizations whose salary structure is very unusual. And the one that alarms me the most of those two is the International Fund for Animal Welfare. They actually conceal most of their top-paid salaries. They claim that there is a loophole in the IRS regulations that permits them to not disclose the amounts of many of their chief executive salaries because those executives are not on the board. That's baloney. I've got letters from the IRS that say so. But the IRS has not enforced it against the International Fund for Animal Welfare. As a result, we're not able to disclose quite a number of their salaries, which, when we last did get the information, were $100,000, $150,000 and up. We really only have a few of their chief executive salaries, and they have a lot that are in the upper salary bracket.
Well, you know when they're hiding.
Yeah, when they're
hiding the
figures. The loopholes.
Yeah.
Well, that bugs me a lot. It also bugs me a great deal that they're spending a huge bequest they received, $10 million bequest, on building a new headquarters on Cape Cod, which is very pricey real estate.
Sure.
When they could sell the real estate they've got there and build in a less expensive area for the price of the land that they sold and put this money into campaigns where they've really been, for example, after the tsunami, IFAW put $7,155 into tsunami relief. Well, Animal People put more than $150,000 in, and Best Friends put in more than $150,000, and quite a few other organizations put in as much or more than IFAW that didn't have anything like IFAW's $17.8 million in the bank. So I've got a lot of problems with their financial structure anyway, but their non-disclosure of executive salaries bugs me.
Okay, and I got to say that these organizations may be doing some very good work, just because the money seems a little screwed up. And of course, this is what we get into it for the animals, and oftentimes, the way it is for most of us, we don't make a lot of money. Who's working really hard and not making a lot of money, Merritt?
Well, I'd again mention your local shelters is the place to look. Executive director salaries of a mid-sized humane society are paid pretty much the same as school teachers. And although school teachers have a lot of stress, both my parents were teachers, so I know a lot about that. The executive director of a humane society doesn't get any summer vacation. In fact, that's the busy season. So, and then the people underneath the executive director are working for a whole lot less than school teachers. It's a grossly underpaid field at the local level. And even when you get into some of the really big organizations around the country, you're looking at executive directors that are responsible for a couple hundred people who are making $100,000 a year in communities where oftentimes the cost of housing and so forth are up to 20% above the national average. So that's not disproportional with what the administrator of a large church, for instance, might be making in those communities. So at the local level, I don't see a whole lot of people walking off with sacks of loot. At the national level, I do see some that concern me, although I will also say this. I'm seeing less of that now than I did when we first began publishing this. I think publishing the salaries has had
an effect.
It's had a bit of a positive effect. People don't take the money in most cases, unless they think they can rationalize it. But with that much said, there are some organizations like the National Anti-Vivisection Society that pay several $100,000 a year plus salaries, and I can't for the life of me really see what those people are doing to earn the compensation. The organization is simply not active enough in terms of program activity and all the rest of it. And so their salary is a grossly disproportionate share of their total institutional spending.
Sure, okay. But you're not going to name any names.
Well, you just simply get into too long. If you name an individual name, and you have to explain how come you think this person is paying too much, because in private enterprise they could only make this amount instead of that amount.
So I guess that ultimately give to your local shelter. Help on a local level where they really need your help. Animal People is the magazine, news for people who care about animals. Merritt, how can someone get a trial or a test the Animal People out?
We'd be happy to send a free sample. There's two ways. One is to go to our website, www.animalpeoplenews.org, and just request a free sample. The other is to give me a call, 360 579-2505. I'll take down your name and address, and we'll get a sample copy right out to you.
Merritt, thanks so much for spending time with us.
Okay, thank you.
We have more animal people. We have more animal
people.
More animal radio on the way. Pet Solution RX, a revolutionary 100% natural first aid treatment for pets. Pet Solution RX is the miracle water that heals everything from hot spots to insect bites. Available at local pet stores or visit www.earthsbalance.com.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
A German Shepherd Timberwolf mix named Shauna is being called a hero for saving an elderly couple. Eve and Norman Ferdig, both 81 years old, were taking care of injured birds in the wildlife sanctuary on their Alden, New York property when a surprise snowstorm hit. As the couple headed back to their house, they were trapped by fallen trees and heavy snow. Shauna, who weighs 160 pounds, dug a tunnel through the snow to their deck and then came back to lead the couple through the tunnel. She didn't stop until they were all safely inside, where all three collapsed for the night. The local fire department has given Shauna a certificate declaring her a hero. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
You probably have no idea what it's like to be a hot, hairy dog with itchy skin. Oh, thank dog there's relief. Pet Solution RX, I'll always be loyal to you.
Instant relief for sensitive skin problems, hot spots, mange, insect bites, and more. 100% natural Pet Solution RX at earthsbalance.com.
Visit earthsbalance.com for my sake. Woof.
Another fine product from the makers of Doggone It and Gee Whiz.
Hi, I'm Doris Day for the Humane Society of the United States. As the founder of Spay Day USA in 1995, I'm proud that Americans have spayed or neutered more than 1 million dogs and cats as part of our volunteer program. Won't you join us for our annual Spay Day USA on the last Tuesday of February? Visit SpayDayUSA.com to find the Spay Day USA event nearest you. Please call.
Happy birthday!
This is such a cool party.
Did you see the cake?
I did. Shaped like a doggy bone. So cute. How old is the birthday boy in people years?
28.
Oh, time flies. I remember when he tinkled on his first fire hydrant.
He'll always be my little puppy. There's a place for you and your party animal. PetStyle.com. PetStyle is America's first lifestyle broadband network dedicated to dog and cat lovers like you. At PetStyle, we understand your unique relationship with your pet, so we offer 1,000 ways to make it better. PetStyle.com is a video-based online network that's always there for you, with original programming, fun amateur videos, training and travel tips, health and wellness, and more. PetStyle is information and entertainment designed with your lifestyle in mind. It's the place to be for you and your party animal. PetStyle.com. Log on and tune in today.
Hello, this is Don DeLuise, and you're listening to Animal Radio. Love your pets. They'll always love you back.
Preventing pain, fear, and suffering of animals through nationwide education and awareness from all across the globe. This is Animal Radio.
1-866-405-8405. Merritt Clifton just joined us, and as soon as he got off the air, let me tell you, the phones have lit up.
Oh, yeah.
We do this every year. We talk with Merritt. He has the Watchdog Report, and he tells us who's making what. Most of these people are CEOs and presidents of organizations, but there's a few people that are like the secretaries making $350,000 or just something that just doesn't seem like it should be in line, in check, especially when I'm working so hard to give them whatever leftover money I have every month. 1-866-405-8405. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Michelle in San Diego. Hi, Judy and Hal. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. Well. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. I am really surprised. I'm taken aback. On the one hand, I have to say I really am in favor of market forces, working, and if there's that much money out there, I am surprised because I wasn't led to believe that when they asked for my donations. And it seems unfair, but my first question is, why can't we see the books? Why can't we see where this is going? When I contribute my money, I want to think that it's going to the animals,
Actually,
not for maintenance.
you can see the books. All of these files, this information that puts together the Watchdog report is
public
information, which is it's actually a tax form, a 990 form.
Yeah, but who's going to look that up?
The Watchdog report. They're looking
They do
it up.
it
They
for
do
us.
it, and they actually tell us here in the budgets. Let's take Best Friends, for instance, which is located about 3 miles away from us, and they made $31 million, almost $32 million last year.
So that's
donations.
supposed to justify their salaries.
Well, it's supposed to. Now they take home the upper management takes home about $65,000 to $69,000 a year. Now, take in mind, when they take it home, they take it to a home that is already paid for. Their cars are paid for. Their food are paid for. So the $69,000
gravy.
It's on the top. Now, it's not to say that Best Friends is not doing great work. They are doing fine work. And it's not to say that the upper management doesn't deserve this. There are some organizations specifically...
compare that 67,000 to 750,000. It's quite a big difference.
Yeah, that's a lot of cash for really to be making more than the president. I don't even want to go there on that one.
Yeah, well, it's really depressing in a way, but I guess whatever. Who am I to say? I just give the money and.
Well, here's a hint, Michelle. Give your money locally to the organizations locally. You say you're in San Diego?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a report from San Diego. I think we do have a report from San Diego. Oh, here, the Woodward Foundation. The director of operations at the Woodward Foundation there in San Diego makes about $78,000. In San Diego, that's probably fairly average. That's what it costs to live out there, isn't it?
Kind of low.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it costs more than that in San Diego.
Okay.
But what you find at a lot of your local shelters are that the employees there or the volunteers actually put out of their own pockets the money to help the animals, the food, and to get supplies and things.
What?
Because the shelters aren't making that much money. They don't receive a lot of donations, and you see these people that are, middle income people out of their pocket, and then you see these CEOs making $750,000.
There's two echelons of shelters. There's a very wealthy shelter. These are the big top tens, and then there's mostly your local shelters that really do need the money.
They need the money, and the money will go to the animals.
Yes.
Well, it seems like a sort of inequity there, but
it does.
Gosh. Well, anyway, best of luck. I think you guys are doing a great job in exposing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling today.
Take care.
1-866-405-8405.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more about today's guest at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Hi, this is David Fry on Animal Radio. I want you to think about this. It's much more important what we learn from our dogs than what we teach them.
Now, any cat can be happy and safe outdoors. Perfect Fence is the first complete freestanding backyard fence enclosure for cats. Now, your cats can enjoy all the benefits of the great outdoors without you worrying about their safety. Perfect Fence is affordable, easy to install, and best of all, virtually invisible. Find out why thousands of cat owners described Perfect Fence as life-changing. Visit perfectfence.com. That's P-U-R-R, fectfence.com.
Preventing pain, fear, and suffering of animals through nationwide education and awareness from all across the globe. This is Animal Radio.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Andy Talarita. Is that pronounced right?
Yep, that's it.
Yep, that's it. You're one of the head honchos over there at the PAP Rescue, PAP 911.
Yep.
Which is, I'm not going to go there. I was going to make a gynecological joke there.
Don't even.
This is a...
I say that all the time. So does my one friend. It sounds like we need an emergency pap smear.
Yeah, well, that's not the case with this. This is for, you guys actually have a Papillon Rescue, is that correct?
Right.
And a very good one, I might add. And you guys are hosting Webmutster. Webmutster, like Westminster, but Webmutster 2007. It's at about the same time. And you'll be looking for pretty much the same things that, and some other things that they'll be looking for at Westminster. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, Webmutster, we started last year. This is our second year.
Okay.
I kind of thought of it because it is a play on the Westminster name.
we absolutely had, there was no rescue shows, even though it's all online with a picture. But it was something for rescues all to get together.
Well, I like that because when you think about Westminster, it's all the breeding and everything that's going on, and there really isn't anything for the big contingent of animals that need to be rescued and to show off rescue dogs. So that's good. I don't mean to jump in and interrupt here, but is this for Papillons only, or is it for any rescue dog?
It's any rescue dog or any dog in a shelter.
Okay.
Or any stray that someone adopted.
Okay. And then what categories are you looking for?
Okay, we have the best in show, most photogenic, biggest ham, best rescue survivor, best rescue athlete, best canine citizen, and best dressed. We have the male and female, and honorable mention.
Okay, now where is this going to take place physically, or is it in the world of technology and the internet? Can it take place anywhere?
Right, it's on the internet.
Okay,
it's all online.
And we send pictures in, we enter at the website, is that how that works?
Yep, you send pictures and email them to me, Andy33@AOL.com.
And we'll put that up at animalradio.com if you're driving now and you can't write down Andy's email address. We'll have everything, all the information on how to enter at animalradio.com. But go on, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. Why do I do that? Stop it.
And we put them in the photo gallery, and the page stayed, all the contestants stayed for a year. They have till February 9th to enter. Then we close it for the voting, and then the winners are announced on the 14th, the same as Westminster.
Who does the judging? Is it by all the citizens? They get to pick their favorites?
No. We don't do votes. I actually have judges, 11 of them, from rescues or who had shown dogs in the past.
So these are experts.
They're experts, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Just want to make sure it's not Joe from down the corner. Hey,
not Joe at the hardware store.
Yeah. No, we have Carol Merrill from Awareness Day.
Okay.
Kathy Hargis from Awareness Day.
Okay.
Robin Presnell from Small Paws. Chris Kayer, I don't know how to say her last name right. Keystone Golden Retriever.
Okay.
Rescue. Murphy McConnell, Bright Star German Shepherd Rescue. Bill Smith, Mainline Rescue. Janet Hadkins, Great Creatures, Great Dane and Irish Wolfhound Rescue. We have Ellen Sturkle. She showed her collies for years. Gail McLean is a rescue transporter. And we have Amber Denson from Canine Country, one of our major sponsors, and also Richard Saffo, who is our web host, Rescue Groups. He was in Rescues for years.
Okay. I got to ask you this question. Last year, this is your second year. Did you have the best rescue survivor last year, and what was the story that won on that?
We did not have the best rescue survivor last year. We only had 3 categories.
Okay.
That was my first, actually, I thought of this
Well, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. December 15th, we only had 4 at that time, 4 placements. So now this year we extended it. Expanded on all the categories, and hopefully it goes over real well. The stories some are heart-wrenching, and some are just fantastic. It's very interesting, and we hope lots of the public look at it. And
Sure, and if you want to enter it, there's a $5 fee to get entered, and of course, what are some of the prizes? I understand, I guess, proceeds go to rescue shelters?
Okay, yes. So 4 of the placing dogs get a percentage of the proceeds. Best in Show gets 10%. Plus, he gets $100 worth of items from Canine Country, their chews and so forth. Also the trophy, the little bowl, like Westminster. Also a dog bed, and each dog that places gets a stuffed dog toy and a Merlin Magic ball. Most photogenic, I believe she gets a dog bed. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head. Carolot Pets donated a dog bed. Also, they get a photo tote of their dog. Again, a trophy, but a star trophy. And $15 worth of items from Canine Country. Biggest ham. He gets a big toy box.
That's me.
Of course, a large ham bone. Plus $15 from Canine Country.
Really
items.
pays to be the biggest ham, and of course, if I was a dog, that's where I would win, is the biggest ham.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, we had a gorgeous boxer won that last year. Then we went to Best Rescue Survivor, gets their own picture photo flag and a trophy. Then who do we have? Best Rescue Athlete I remember what they get.
Okay, well, it sounds like a lot of fun. We're going to have to check it out. Now, when does it start? Can we enter now?
Yeah. It
Okay.
starts January 1st, and they enter till the 9th.
And that's at the website, right?
Yep.
Which is
and
www.pap911.rescuegroups.org. And again, we'll have links to that from animalradio.com.
Okay.
Will you tell us who wins? Maybe we could do a phone-in report, a live report, because we'll be at Westminster, too.
Yeah.
We'll be at Westminster, you'll be at Webmunster, and you can, we could get together on the phone.
Get the two of them together.
That would be great.
Okay. Hold on a second, Andy. Thanks for what you're doing. It's a worthy cause because I'll tell you, there really is not a online or offline contest for rescue animals. It's usually for breeds and all of that. And really, these are some very beautiful animals. We have more Animal Radio on the way. Unless you're leaving us now, in which you could head on over to animalradio.com and get plenty more Animal Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There you go. All animals all the time.
It's free, too. Remember, if you get an animal this week, please spay or neuter. Don't declaw. Never buy from a breeder. We'll see you next week for more Animal Radio.
Bye-bye.
Bye.